Welcome to Cooking with Andrea. Today I'm excited. We're going to make some roast beef hash. We're going to get started here. First, I wanted to show you we had some extra roast beef in the freezer. Trying to get rid of some of my frozen stuff. I had some extra country gravy I had made in a big bulk situation. We like biscuits and gravy and things like that. We've got our beautiful potatoes here. We were really blessed. My son's company gave him like 3-4 big, huge bags of potatoes. So we're going to make good use of these potatoes. We're going to make hash this morning. Like I said, I'm cleaning out my freezer. We've got Thanksgiving coming. And first of all, I just want to wish everybody a very beautiful, happy Thanksgiving. I don't want to wait until the end because I'm afraid, oops, it'll slip my mind. There it goes, squirrel. So have a beautiful Thanksgiving from our family to yours. So what I did is I went ahead and peeled the potatoes and I cut them in half. Because what I'm going to do is take my little French fry maker, because sometimes when I make potatoes, I like everything to be uniform. So I'm going to just pop them out like that. I've done 2 potatoes per person. And if I have too many, then I just won't put them all in and I'll just save them in their water and I'll use them for something else. But most likely I'm going to use every potato I have. Love potatoes. Try not to eat them too often. You know, I tell you all the time that getting old stuff is for the birds, triglycerides. But we need to get rid of some potatoes and we need to have a nice hearty breakfast because we're outside getting ready, getting the rest of our yard done. We have, you know, still leaves to pick up, gardens to clean, and things like that, and just get ready for our winter. It's starting to get chilly willy here. So I'm just cutting these up. The reason I do the French fry cutter thing is because it makes them more uniform. And I do have 2 kinds of potatoes here. Like I said, we were blessed enough to get them from my son's company. So I have some yellows and I have some russets. And I'm just going to put these in and we're going to get them cooking. And then, but I do want to get these in with you guys here. That's why I took the time to do them before I came on camera. Because everybody knows pretty much how to cut a potato. Only thing is with potatoes, you want them to be more uniform so that when you're cooking, they all cook about the same time. Sometimes too, when I'm making hash, you'll see in here, I cut a few of the potatoes a little bit smaller. And the reason I do that is because then I get a creamier on the bottom, or I get the one that's called bits at the bottom, like I'm doing right now. I just do it with about a potato, and I just cut it a little bit smaller because I want that to be the bits on my bottom, or the creaminess on the bottom of my pan, which is good. And then, but I do want everything chunked. You're going to see with the meat how I do mine. And this is Andrea's version of her roast beef hash. I grew up eating hash. My mom made hash. We always had like Sunday roast pork or ham or roast beef. And so what my mom would do the next morning after we were out of church, mom would be making hash with some potatoes, because we always had potatoes, and then she'd take the ham, the pork, or the beef, whatever we had, or the corned beef, and she'd make hash that day. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse these again. These are all ready. I already washed my potatoes once with a straight up wash after I peeled them, and then I went ahead and rinsed them already, put them in more water so I could get the starch out of them. Because, like I said, I have to be careful for all the starch and stuff that I eat. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my onion, because mine has to be pureed. So, just let my potatoes rinse. I'm just going to cut my onion. It's a whole medium white onion. And I have 3 cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to cut mine up like this, because I'm going to go ahead and puree it. So, as soon as I get that done, we'll be back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of oil in here, about 2 tablespoons. Don't want to put too much. Let the potatoes soak here. I put them in here so they could drain a little bit. I better get the pan on, actually. So we're going to go hot pot And we are going to drop it to 300. I want that oil to get a little bit warm before I put the potatoes in. So I'm just going to shake these a little bit. Get the excess water. Like I said, I washed them after I cut them, soaked them for a bit, and then I went ahead and let them just drain here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, while my pan's heating, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my gravy. I just took my gravy out of the freezer earlier this morning because, like I said, I'm trying to get rid of some of my freezer goods. We're going to be having turkey and ham and all sorts of goodness, but I want to get rid of my beefs. Don't make a whole lot of beef. We usually eat steak. When we do eat beef, it's usually like a prime rib. Like this year, I'll make a prime rib. Not for Thanksgiving. I'll do that for Christmas. But getting rid of some of the beef. We eat way more chicken and steak and pork, things like that, and fish. So I'm just going to put my country gravy that I had made. This is just one I had made from scratch. I'm not sure if I had put it on the channel or not. I'm just going to let it heat on medium. I'm going to do a medium-low. It's just going to take some time for the potatoes to cook. And then it's starting to come up. So we're going to go like that. We're good. We're going to go ahead and get our potatoes dropped. One more shake because I got quite a few potatoes. Well, that's what we want. We want a sizzle. A sizzle is a good thing. Okay, so you can tell in my hash that I have a few yellows and a few whites. And so we are good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and get my wooden spoon. I'm just going to let these start cooking for a minute. As soon as I get them just to a little bit of a warmer state, I have it on 300 right now. What I'm going to do is take my onion and garlic. So it was a whole medium white onion pureed with 3 nice-sized cloves of garlic. Oh, smells super delicious. My problem with onion is the texture issue. I do not like to bite into like kind of raw or dehydrated onions. So I usually use onion powder or I puree. I like the puree taste. I love the taste of onion. It's a texture issue for me. So I have 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of pepper, a whole tablespoon of parsley, and I have a teaspoon and a half of celery salt. This is going to be my salt for my potatoes. It's also going to mix good with my roast beef. So I give it a stir here. I don't want to put too much oil because I'm going to take my lovely roast beef and I'm going to make some of my roast beef just little chunks. But I like the roast beef in the meat pretty much blended in real well because that's how my mom used to do it and it used to taste excellent. I don't need a big whole bunch of chunks of meat on top. I prefer it blended into the potatoes and it looks and tastes delicious. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my cutting board. Oh, good God, it smells good. I'm going to start out with 3 cups. Trying to wait until I dump my onions. Let me see if it's hot enough. Because when I dump my onion, it's going to cool my pan down tremendously. Because it's liquid. But boy, you get all this goodness, all this onion liquid. If you like your onions regular, then you don't have to go through this extra step. For me, it takes an extra 4 or 5 minutes. But to me, it's worth it because then I can eat it. Because if I just chop the onion and put it in there, honestly, I wouldn't be eating this dish. No way, no how. It's not me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop it in. So we can just start mixing it because that's my flavor. Garlic, onion, paprika, celery salt, pepper, and parsley. Okay. Just going to put that right over there. We're just going to get it. You see how I was at a sizzle? Now I'm a lower sizzle. Oops. And you know me, I did 2 potatoes per person. Technically, I'm cooking for 4 of us for our morning breakfast. I'm just going to throw potatoes all over. And I'm just gonna let my pan heat. I still have it on 300. I don't really want it any higher than that. I don't like when my potatoes are burned. I like when they're crispy, but crispy's a whole other thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this sit in here. It's gonna come up in a minute. I wanna make sure you can see the hash cooking. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is show you my roast beef. I'm gonna put the oil away for a second because I believe when we get the meat in, we'll be fine. We'll have totally enough fat and goodness. So don't want to over fatten everything because roast beef does have a little layer of fat. What I'm going to do is just cut it up like this. And like I said, I don't care if it gets mixed and minced. That's why I have a good chunk here. And because I want that flavor. And I want the meat flavor in with the potato. But you see, I have the liquid from the meat on my food. I always package, every bag I package with its own liquid, and then it has its own fat. So I don't have to add as much fat to my dish. It's a natural. And then what I'm doing is just going like this. I'm not trying to mince it a lot, but I'm not going to tell a lie. I like my meat, when I make a hash, I like mine to get mixed in. I don't want it sitting on the top. I don't want I prefer a lot of potatoes versus even the meat. But I do like meat, let me not tell a lie. But most of the time when I do make hash, I make corned beef hash. Or I make, I'll make like a ham hash. I love like a ham hash. It's like a ham scramble. But with the ham one, I add bell peppers because it reminds me of a Western omelet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my seasonings and I'm just going to put them in. And I'm just doing this with my parsley because I like the parsley in my dish. I like the color it gives. And then what I'm going to do is just start shaking all over. And season, season, season. This is the only season, unless I feel we need more, it will get. But remember, my meat is seasoned real well too, so we don't have to come in with that much seasoning. But you want your potatoes to have flavor. And you want your onions and your garlic to cook in there. And as soon as I get my meat cut up, I'm going to let the potatoes cook a little bit longer. And as soon as I get the meat cut up, then we're just going to toss it in. Because remember, the meat's already cooked, but the potatoes aren't. But by putting the meat in about 15 minutes before the potatoes are done, ooh, it's going to give a crispiness to the meat. Okay. I'm doing potato roundup today. Good God. So after the hash is done, what we're going to do is we're going to take our white country gravy I made. It'll be nice and warm. And we're going to just drizzle a little bit over our hash on a plate. And then I'm going to fry 2 eggs per person. That's what we're going to do for our breakfast this morning. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of measure out how much meat I have, because I can over meat things real fast. And I kind of want to, like I said, have the texture of, oh, hey, we've got meat in our potatoes. This is a good hash. I don't need it to be all meat. And then, like I said, anything left over in this bag, you know, I make during the day for my mom. She needs some good calories, so I make the beef with gravy or potatoes and stuff. That's why we're making this nice hash dish this morning. Plus, if we're out working in the cold this morning, boy, when we come in, we'll have some nourishment and we'll be good to go. And it makes for hearty. Also, this is a good leftover dish. I can make it for the boys in the morning for their breakfast before they go to work. So it makes me happy. And then me and Mom can have some. Me and Mom will probably have it for lunch. We're normally not big, super big. I'm going to eat breakfast like this. We usually have our coffee and a little piece of toast. And then about 10:30, 11, that's when we normally eat more. So that's what we'll do. Okay, I'm going to change spatulas. I must change from my wooden to my spatula. See, you see the liquid in my pan? That's not even oil. That's the onion juice coating all the onions. Because I only put about, maybe a tablespoon and a half of oil in here. And I have quite a few potatoes, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8 potatoes. Yep. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit, but that is not oil. That is actually good old onion juice. So I'm going to go ahead and put some meat in. Like I said, I'm going to stick to about 2 cups of meat. And then as soon as I get this 2 cups of meat in, or cut it in and put it in here, what I'll do is I'll go to break. I'll get the gravy nice and hot, get my little egg pan out, and then we'll come back and we'll add some meat to this. And then we'll let it finish cooking for the next 15 minutes. So I want to give my hands a nice wash because I got some meat grease on them. So I'm thinking we're gonna do a hefty 2 cups. We're gonna do it all the way to the top. A lot of people will add beef broth and stuff in. I don't have to because, like I said, my meat is already sitting in its own juices. So I have little pieces of, I call it meat jelly because that's what it looks like. It's like coagulated, so it looks like jelly. Okay, so I'm going to give a quick wash real fast. Okay, we got some nice bleach water there. Oh, so we're good. Potatoes are cooking good. The sizzle's good. Doesn't have to be any higher. I want the potatoes to get brown, but I want them to also be kind of creamy. Looking delish. Smelling delish. Okay, and then after we get to a certain point, then that's when I can taste the potato, make sure there's enough seasoning. But you know what? To me, there's plenty of seasoning. I can see it, and that's why I kind of use the quantity that I use, because there's been a few times where I've gotten crazy and totally oversalted, and it hasn't been good. Oh, let me just try now. Nice and salt, nice and seasoned. But I don't like raw potatoes. That's so funny. My mom loves raw potatoes. God, I never have liked raw potatoes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna let this cook for a little bit longer. And then about 10 minutes before it's ready, we'll come back and we'll add the meat and let the meat just season it as well. We'll be back. Welcome back. Okay. Just wanted to give an update. Everything's looking fantastic. The potatoes are getting softer. I'm going to try one now. Press just a little bit of a bite. So this is when the hash or the meat has to come in. And what we want to do is mix the meat in, because this is when we want to make sure we have enough meat. But I can tell you already, we probably have plenty of meat. If not, I have more meat, so I can add a little bit. I'm going to start with 2 cups because you can always go and add more. You can't take it out. It doesn't work that way. And remember, I want to taste the potato, the meat, and if we get the meat really cooked in, it should be good. Should be fantastic. Should be plenty enough meat, because we're going to have country gravy, which is looking delicious. Nice and warm. It's really good. Now, this gravy I make, I usually just grind the peppercorns very slightly. So my peppercorns are very big in here. But me and my family, we like the pepper taste. I'll tell you something. We buy a Winco brand of this gravy, country gravy. My husband likes that one a lot. And then I buy McCormick's sausage flavor. I didn't use sausage flavor. I used my regular biscuit and gravy mix that I use, and I do it by scratch. And so that's what I'm using today. So I'm just looking to make sure while I have you here that looks like enough meat. I like meat a lot, but sometimes, I don't need to eat so much meat. I notice that I'm getting older. I don't eat quite as much meat. Before it was all meat. I loved meat. I just loved, especially beef. Now I'm getting older, so I don't eat as much. You got some chunks, you got some shreds in here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give a taste. Even though the meat is not warm, I just want to see against the potato. Yeah, I think it's good. All I think I need to do is just crisp it up. So what I'm going to do is get 2 eggs, stand by. We got our meat dumped in here. We're good here. We're going to let this cook for about 10-15 more minutes, and we're going to come back. Welcome back. Okay, I just took a test real fast. We need to add a little bit of salt real fast. Not too much, just a little bit. Because one thing about meat and potatoes is it does need salt. You know, I'm not a big salt person. I mean, everybody can be a salt person when they want to be, but normally I don't salt my food too much. But I just tried it, and boy, I sure needed just a little bit of salt. The celery salt gave it a little bit of salt, but it also gave it a great flavor as well. So what I'm going to do is try it now. Excellent. Just a little bit of salt needed, but like I say, always do your salt at the end. It's better you salt it at the table versus it's over salted and the dish is no good. God knows I have done that more than once in my life. So what I'm going to do is put a big pile. This looks fantastic. You can see all the little meat pieces that are done, all the potatoes, everything is fork tender. It's delicious. So now I'm going to scoot this back. That will feed a whole lot of people too. That will feed 4 to 6 people easy, even if you have big eaters. So I'm going to take the country gravy, and you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything over here so you guys can see. I'm going to go right here. And then what I'm going to do is take the nice hot country gravy, and I don't want to drown it. I'm just going to go like this. You can always go back for more if you want more. That's you on your plate, how you would like it. I don't like mine too gravied up, even though I'm a big gravy fan. I'm just going to go like that because I'm also adding an egg. I just got an egg. I was going to do 2 eggs, but I'm only going to do 1 because I don't want to cover the whole dish. And I thought about it. I don't want to cover the whole dish, but that's how I want it. I'm just going to take that piece off. That was from the other egg, and we'll just go like that, and then add a little bit of salt and pepper. But that's what my roast beef hash would be. Just some potatoes that we needed to get rid of, some roast beef that we had in the freezer that we had to get rid of, some country gravy that we had to get rid of. Now the freezer is going to be a little less full, and we're ready to bring on the new holiday and have some new meats in our freezer. Well, I'm going to take a bite of the gravy and the potato, and then I'm going to come over here and steal a piece of egg and take another bite of the potato, the gravy, and the meat. Absolutely delicious. What a wonderful breakfast. I encourage you guys, get rid of your leftovers. Remember, take any kind of meat you have. Turkey, ham, pork, beef, corned beef, chicken. You can even do a chicken hash and get rid of it. And try this. It's inexpensive because most everything I already had on hand. It's easy going, about all total time cook and prep, maybe 45 minutes. Remember, deal is cut your potatoes small, they cook faster. But anyways, if you like the content, if you would please like, share, and subscribe, I'd be most grateful. And thanks for all the support I get, all the subscribers. Appreciate you all very much. And like I said, I didn't forget to say happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving again. Take care.